guys. We should have audio now. Let me just I'm just looking at my stream. Testing 1 2 3. Okay, there we go. Testing 1 2 3. Okay, it doesn't sound horribly horrible. Okay, good. There we go. Sorry, I'm eating pizza as I'm starting the stream. This was a lot of... I haven't streamed in 3 months. This has been a lot of setup for a short little stream. What I'm doing today is I've been editing some photos. So I got some photos from the shoot. It was 905 photos. I've gone through and I've kind of made some selections. Let me get this chick's Instagram handle. She was amazing. What do you mean a Daydream Productions? What am I doing? Getting this Instagram for you guys. Okay. This is Kelly Roberts. Her Instagram is Pretty Fit and Deadly. Just like that. Pretty Fit and Deadly. So a little while ago, my friend who is starting this brand, Iron Chemist, came and said he wants to shoot a few fitness. He wants to shoot some fitness content. So, wait, I've got to check on something here quickly. We're all good. He wants to shoot some fitness content, so and I've been organizing some shoots because I'm trying to get some stuff going, and so we set up this shoot with Kelly, and so he's kind of just shooting the tights, which is all they have in their brand now. So Iron Chemist at Iron Chemist on Instagram or something is their brand. Okay, so this is kind of like, I think I edited 5 or 6 images, and that's a before. And this is an after. As you can see, it's a little bit of retouching, did a little bit of skin smoothing, not too much, and yeah, just actually very, very little that I did with these images. I shot them really nice. This is a shot with the X-T3, Fujifilm X-T3, and this is with a 90mm f2. Probably at f2. Does it tell me? Yeah, it does at f2. So I was pretty happy with how the 4 or 5 images came out, and then I decided now I'm gonna image. I want to really shoot some more. Edit some more. So yeah, these came out really well. She looks super ripped. I think this is an unedited one. So I just moved it to now. I suddenly don't feel like editing this on stream. Anyways, let's see how it goes. If I get some viewers quickly, I'll stay live. This is kind of why I haven't streamed in 3 months. It's just because I hide in my little cave here, and I do my editing and my work, and I kind of don't want the world to mess with me. You know what I mean? I just like to stay in here. So I'm going to really tell you I'm not going to use this image, because to straighten it, this particular image, to get it straight, it chops off your shoes. So I didn't shoot it quite wide enough. That's okay. So we're going to unselect that image. So these first few ones in the thing, I edited. This image, this image, this image, this image, and that was about a month ago, and since then I haven't looked at them at all. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I wanted to see if anyone's watching this. There's one viewer, but I think it's me. So what I'm going to do is just run you through the editing process that I'm going to use here. There's one viewer, but I think it's... let's see. Yeah, if you're watching, say hi. Because if I go for like 5 minutes or so and no one's watching, I'm just gonna turn off the stream. That's not a threat or anything like that. I'm not being cheeky. I'm just like, couldn't be bothered. Okay, so this is how I'm going to approach this image. This is a JPEG image. I've shot it on the Fujifilm X-T3 in classic chrome. It's not raw. So yeah, this is Kelly. She's got these freaking awesome tats, and she's also ripped like anything. So first step is always, I'm just going to straighten it. There we go. Did that work? Yeah. Just going to straighten it. Usually I've got shortcuts for all of this stuff, but I want you guys to be able to follow with the what I'm doing. So yeah. The next step, which I don't usually do, is this is new to Lightroom. This is some really cool skin smoothing. So you can go to the adjustment brush setting, and you go on this minus textures, and yeah, it's gonna sort of just magically smooth out her face. So I'm just gonna try and avoid like areas that I don't want to affect, which is like it's hard to do without shortcuts because I'm eating pizza, which is usually like the eyes and stuff like that, the lips. But what I can do is I can just erase where I've gone over things. Because I'm quite zoomed in, and because her face isn't huge, it's not going to make a massive difference to those areas, so I don't have to be too strict about it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and do a further one over here, just smooth a little bit more. Be a little bit more careful with this one, because now I'm doubling up on that strength. And then another one in there, just make the brush a bit smaller. Just getting rid of those blemishes. Another thing I could do is just for those blemishes is I could just heal them out. And that kind of, let's just check a before and an after. There's something really distracting in there. What is that? Is that lightness in there? That kind of like, it kind of does a pretty good balance between keeping some skin textures, although I don't like it. So I'm going to reset this again. It's too much for me. So what I'm going to rather do is I'm going to start by healing out, you know, some of these marks. And then what that's going to allow me to do is it's going to allow me to be less aggressive with the texture brush. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to like get rid of all of the skin texture. Let's have a look. Yeah. So it's just the big marks. There's a little like bit of the wall showing through there. That's really distracting. I don't know. I'm going to fix that yet. I might have to do something in Photoshop, which is I don't really like doing. So this texture is not minus 50, minus 60 is not that strong, but I was like tripling up on it. So that's what's kind of made it super strong. But now I think with me having removed some of the, and then also what I didn't do is I didn't cover like the whole face. Let's have a look. Which means there were parts that were clearly like smooth and parts that were not. So this is really handy because this is something you used to have to do in another program, or excuse me, Xtamaro, what's up, bro? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Where you from? So this little texture brush in Lightroom with this texture adjustment has made a big difference. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, we haven't even started editing. We've just cropped. We just made some differences. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to... Thanks for the follow, dude. Poland, nice. I'm from South Africa. Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. And thanks for the follow, my man. Just doing some my normal editing work, and haven't streamed in like 3 months, so I thought now I'll do this on stream. Usually what happens is I usually watch streams while I'm editing. I love it because I don't have to, it's not like a YouTube video where you have to concentrate, you know, you can just put someone on in the background. So now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get rid of that little bright spot over there. That should do it. Okay, so that's a little bit too much. It's changing the shape of her face a bit. It's probably a better way to do this. I could probably heal that out as well. Let's try both ways and then we see. At the moment I'm just trying to get rid of... Okay, so that kind of works, and let's see if we just heal it out. If this will be... if Lightroom will be intelligent enough to figure out what it is I'm trying to change. So I'm doing everything. Usually I use shortcuts, but I'm not using shortcuts because I want you guys to see what tools I'm using and stuff. The closer we get to that area, the more it should be. I'm gonna try even smaller on the heal tool. So I'm gonna get rid of that bright spot. I could leave it there. It's not like the biggest thing in the world, but it is just a little bit distracting. So yeah, you can see that there. And I mean, it was such a tiny little part of the photo that I don't have to worry too much about it. And also, I don't want to make her skin super fake. You know, I still want there to be pores. I still want there to be something. I'm just getting rid of like major blemishes. Also, her skin is much nicer than it appears in this photo. It's just that when you shoot fitness to get this dramatic light, you kind of embrace the darkness. Apart from that, I don't think this photo needs that much. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of a vignette on it. I put a vignette on a lot of my photos. So if you see this photo like this, you probably wouldn't notice there's a vignette, but your eye would be immediately drawn more into the photo. So as you can see, I'm being very subtle. I don't mind the fact that her face is a little bit shadowy. I might make the entire picture a little bit more shadowy. And then just pull out I don't know. Pull out the tiniest amount of highlights. Because I've shot this in a JPEG and I've shot it in classic chrome, it's like I kind of like where it is. I don't want to change too much about it. So we're not using any presets today. And then this is how I used to soften faces, hence the thing. But now what we're going to do is now I'm going to bring up the highlights in there. So what it's going to do is it's just going to, and I'm actually going to even increase the shadows, increase the contrast. Maybe not. Maybe the clarity a little bit. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of the, there we go. A little bit brighter, and then what that means is I can bring the shadows down even more. Get rid of that. Just look at it before and after. And so the other thing is I want the image to stay believable. So if you do too much, the image becomes unbelievable. And I'm already like, because I'm on a stream, I'm already like doing more than I might even do just by myself. The other thing I just want to do here is I just want the tattoos to pop a little bit. And then we can actually increase the texture and the clarity. That's a lot. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to bring it over here to this bicep. But once it's here, I'm going to soften it a bit. Because to me, that's a little bit unbelievable. And always, like, I keep on bouncing before, like, I like having this image here because I want to see the difference. Like, to me, that's a little bit unbelievable, this arm. So as a photographer, like, I notice, so to me, it either looks like there was, like, a weird light source somewhere, or it's editing. So I don't want people to look straight at an image and know what I did to it, you know. It must just be, like, super pleasing to the eye. Okay, so I think that's going to look pretty good. Does look pretty good. Now that I've brightened up certain areas, like especially on her face, I can probably make it darker. I like, dude, I love dark stuff, so my photos are always dark. I'm pretty happy with this. I think we can lose a little bit of saturation. So like lose saturation in the whole image as a whole. And then what we can do is we can go to the saturation tab, click on this, and I can bring the skin tones back. So what I've done there is I hold left click, and I drag it up or down. So I can click on wherever like I want that tone, and then I don't have to guess in this. I don't have to guess in the sliders which saturation I'm bringing back. So basically, what I've done now is, yeah, I quite like this. And then so pizza break. It's looking pretty good. So you could also do things like, I could put another one of these filters on her abs, like a radial filter, and make those abs pop. But I think you know, at some point she just has to look like herself. And I don't want to send her a picture or use it, because this is kind of portfolio work. You know, I don't want her to look at this picture and like think, who is that? Okay, I'm really loving this image. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to split toning. I'm going to go to shadows, and I'm going to make the shadows cool. I don't know if I want to go purple or light blue, but definitely going to be subtle, something like that. So that's like a pure blue. I also like playing with like Mm. And then what I might also have done is change the highlights, but her highlights are so nice and warm that I don't think we need to. So we can lose actually a little bit more saturation. The last thing I might consider doing with this image is adding a little bit of a fade. So that's where we started. Done a lot of stuff on the face, done some slight color work. So might consider a bit of a fade, so I'd use the tone curve just a little bit. It goes to the bottom of the tone curve. Let me just bring some of those shadows back. It's a little bit of a strong fade. So I mean, that's a consideration. I probably am not going to go with that, because that's quite stylized. And I just want these images to be, I want to get rid of some of the highlights in the face there. They're a little bit strong. I would add a fade, but I'm trying to stick to a more like classical image. But yeah, I think that's good. So the only thing that I might do from here is maybe make a duplicate and do a black and white one. But I'm pretty happy with that one.
Slightly more comfortable. I also played him a lot yesterday.
Sorry, I'm just trying to check if my stream is working properly. And if I'm in the right, yeah, I'm good. I are good. Stream is good. Okay. I'm just having a look at what we got. Yeah, these are cool. Now, honestly, what I could do is I could just click on that image, click on this image, and just go previous. And I'll bring a lot of the settings across. But because we're streaming, we're going to keep it honest. Okay, so again, first thing we're going to do is crop. So I've shot this with that arm cropped off. Top of her head is cropped. That's not necessarily ideal, but I was shooting this with a 90mm lens. So, you know, with a 90mm you're shooting quite quick. So I'm looking at this line at the back here to make sure like everything's straight. It looks fairly straight to me. Yeah, I like this image a lot. So next thing we're going to do is we're just going to come in and just find any big blemishes, so that when we do a little bit of skin smoothing, we don't have to skin smooth that strongly. Cool. I'm going to start there while we are. Again, this is great light for shooting fitness and showing off muscles, but terrible light for showing a face. So again, we're going to the brush tool and we sliding the texture down to about 50-ish. We're just going to paint on where we want to smooth up. Not too worried about making mistakes. I'm trying to just avoid the eyes and the lips, basically eyebrows. smooth out those lines a little bit. They know I'm not going to get rid of these because she's a hardcore chick, and I don't need to like smooth out every line, so we can see where we made mistakes now. Maybe we want to add a little bit, and if we wanted to, we could erase a little bit. You know, everything that we want to stay sharp, we just, maybe a nose ring, stay sharp. We can always see how far we've done, if we've taken it too far. And so like I said before, I don't want to necessarily make her skin perfect. Because this is not like necessarily going to go into print or anything like that. So you know, and that's the crop, and her skin looks pretty good. So there we go. So this image is different from the others. I really just want to get, it's very dark, so you know, I could bring it back a lot from where it was shot, but we want to keep it moody and subtle. And a fitness image is just really this muscle tone and this arm. And bring up the clarity, so it'll make her face look a little bit worse. So some people do that. I think that's absolutely disgusting. I like subtle, so subtle is king. So I actually love this image a lot already, just the way it is. Like, I could take away a lot of that shadow, but I wanted to just have this sense of this light. And then what I can go do is I can add a little bit of that tiny bit of the vignette, less than I added to the previous image, just to get the sides dark. And then I also want to go and make the shadows cooler. Very subtle with that. And then, like I did last time, pull some saturation out of the background. And then I can go down here and I can bring the saturation of the skin tones back. So basically the only color that there is now in this photo is really her, but the background was very plain. And you just get that subtle contrast. Anyways, I kind of like it. And I like going back to see where I started, just to make sure that I haven't gone off track. I like this a lot. Okay, there we go. So that's one image down. A lot brighter. And then that's moody. The only other thing I might play with is her hair here. I might make it darker because it's a little bit messy. It's the only part of her. So pull the texture out. A less lazy editor might go in here and fix up this hair. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it in the shadows. It would look very cool if it was perfect and it had all these nice subtle highlights. Another one very similar to the last one. I'm gonna skip that. So like, I'll make selections and then I'll get to the image and then I won't be excited about it, so I just won't waste my time on it. So like that image, This image I think is worth editing, not because I'm excited about it, just because I think she will like it. It's a little bit of a different pose than the other stuff we shot. So I'm gonna edit it. So if I had to have cut off the fingers, if I did cut off the fingers there, I would have not edited this now after straightening. So I don't think I should go in and heal anything because I think her skin's looking pretty good, and also it's like more of a full body shot, so when everything is zoomed out detail wise, we're gonna be fine. So I just gotta fix that because I went over the eye. Lips. You know, everywhere else I went out the lines doesn't really matter. It's either in the dark or I like that subtle tones and what's them. I might heal little things now that I've come in here. That's fine. Hey, if you're watching, say hi. Love to know who's out there. Yeah, that is nice. So that's what we're going to do with this one. We're going to strengthen the shadows. We're just going to let the highlights live by themselves. And what we'll do is we'll just make her tats pop. Her tattoos. Let's just see how much we've done. Nice. I like it. I'm not going to mess too much with the saturation, background saturation, all of those things. This pipe is bothering me though, that it's not straight. But that line in the wall is straight, so it's just depends what line you want to go with. I dig that. That's cool. It's a cool photo. There we go. Next. Not super excited about it. Not super excited about it. Not super excited about it. Just doing a little bit of face smoothing. Not going to worry too much about going in there. Straighten everything, get that yellow line straight. Also get her nice and centered. I don't want to lose the tops of those mountains though. So when I crop her in this photo, because she's facing to the right, I don't want her closer to the right with her back facing more of the frame. But the fact that her foot is touching the rule of thirds here, I feel like she's just, her weight is just on the left of the center line, and to me that's fine. So yeah, this is going to be very simple. I would like to make the yellows pop, and I'm gonna. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this entire saturation down. I'm going to up the clarity, up the contrast a little bit, get the lighting right on her. That is so moody. I love it. And then we're going to go to the contrast here, the saturation here, and then I can up that saturation on that yellow. I mean, that's too much, but yeah, you know what I mean. And then what we can actually also do is play with the hue of the yellows. So like what kind of yellow we want. But it's obviously messing with their skin tones and everything, so I'm not going to mess too much with it. I'd love to get her shoes to match though, and I probably could with some filters and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so just compared to where we started, yeah, I like that. Maybe add a little bit of a vignette just to draw your eye to the subject. Show you the difference. So if you saw this photo just like this printed, or you saw it somewhere, you wouldn't even know there's a vignette. I should always do that anyways. And I'm happy with that. That's a nice shot. It's got some nice pop. Okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to click previous. So we're going to reset that. That's the face filter. We don't. It's going to be in a different place. We're going to reset the crop because we want to. This is a super like action shot, so yeah, I dig it like that. A little bit of face filter just to be kind. And this one can go a little bit brighter. Add a bit more saturation. A little bit of solar flare there. Yeah. Noise. Same situation, yeah. So reset that face filter because it's completely going to be in the wrong place. And repaint it on her. It's just getting rid of a little bit of the texture. So I mean, I can go in and show you what that would do. Not much. I love dark stuff, so. Okay, here we go. So now you can see the difference between harsh light on her face and slightly less harsh light. I mean, obviously this is still harsh, but like where this is, you can see her skin looks way smoother than when we had her in that parking garage light. And then when it's got full sun on it, you can start to see a little bit of harshness. So what that means we can get away with a lot less smoothing of the skin, and you'd probably get away with not smoothing the skin at all. So, because I've been shooting everything so dark, I want to stay dark. And I feel like because she's in this pose, I'm gonna help her out a little bit with some abs. I mean, she's got abs, but just get in there and just strengthen the shadows, you know, add some contrast. There we go. Pretty straightforward image. I remember selecting this and thinking, why did I cut off her knee? Okay guys, I think I'm going to call it for now. It takes long to edit like this. Thanks for watching.